with you again. This is Insights to the End Times, and you can find all of our podcasts. We are almost 1 year into these podcasts, so you can find all of them at our website, insightstotheendtimes.com, and you can study up on some of the previous recordings. We have been looking at where we are in God's timetable. The earth is coming to a close. The world's coming to an end. The Bible is very clear about this. The only thing we don't know is exactly when it will occur, whether it will be in the near future or in the distant future. But given all of the signs that we've already studied and shared with you, I think you will conclude that we're getting very, very close to the very end of things. Today we're looking at a couple of verses. First one is out of Matthew chapter 24, when Jesus prophesied one of the signs of the end times would be wars and rumors of war, and nation against nation and kingdom against kingdom. And now we certainly have a major war going on right now in the year 2023, which started a year ago. They just celebrated, I don't know if they celebrated, but they just marked 1 year of the Russian invasion of the Ukraine. A horrendous war, and who knows how that's going to continue or going to end for that matter. But Jesus prophesied it. Then we saw yesterday that Satan, or Lucifer, the third archangel in heaven, the one in charge of praise and worship, rose up against God with 5 I will statements. These are found in the book of Isaiah and chapter 14, verses 12 through 15. We're going to look at some responses today from God, because God doesn't put up with stuff like that. He kicked Lucifer, or Satan, right out of heaven as a result of his insurrection, his rebellion. I'm in Ezekiel chapter 28. You'll enjoy these verses, 12 through 15. God describes Lucifer as his archangel. He says, you were the seal of perfection. You were full of wisdom. You were perfect in beauty. You were in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone was your covering. The sardius, the topaz, the diamond, the beryl, the onyx and jasper, sapphire, turquoise, and emerald with gold. The workmanship of your timbrels and pipes was prepared for you in the day you were created. Referring to his leadership abilities in praise and worship, leading praise, etc. Verse 14, you were the anointed cherub who covers. I established you. You were on the holy mountain of God. You walked back and forth in the midst of the fiery stones. You were perfect in your ways from the day you were created. Imagine, this is Lucifer leading praise and worship. And then God says, until iniquity was found in you, until sin was found in you. Now, that iniquity is the 5 I wills of Lucifer in Isaiah chapter 14. So let's see what God's response is in this Ezekiel 28, verses 16 to 18. Listen closely. You sinned, therefore I cast you out as a profane thing. Out of the mountain of God I destroyed you, O covering cherub, from the midst of the fiery stones. Your heart was lifted up because of your because of your beauty. You corrupted your wisdom for the sake of your splendor. I cast you to the ground. I laid you before kings, that they might gaze at you. You defiled your sanctuaries by the multitude of your sins or iniquities, by the iniquity of your trading. Therefore I brought fire from your midst. It devoured you, and I turned you into ashes upon the earth in the sight of all who saw you. 5 I wills of God. Here they are again. I cast you out of the mountain of God. I destroyed you, O covering cherub. I cast you to the ground. I laid you before the kings. I brought fire from your midst. It devoured you. I turned your ashes. I turned you to ashes upon the earth. Wow. See, God doesn't put up with iniquity and sin. And this is the first example of it, really, in terms of events happening from the time of creation. He cast Lucifer out of heaven. Lucifer had convinced or deceived 1/3 of the heavenly angels, probably numbering in the hundreds of thousands, to follow him. He cast them out of heaven to the earth, so to speak, where he has remained, but he continues to war against God, continually warring against God. He's the source of conflict. He's the reason that wars occur, because of his ways of deceiving, infiltrating people and governments and so on with lies and deception. I want you to know we've had a lot of wars. I did a quick search the other day just to satisfy myself, and from 1900 to the year 2000, there were 42 major conflicts, including World War I and World War II, and the Korean War and the Vietnam War, etc., etc. 42 major conflicts, thousands dying in those wars. Now, moving into the 21st century, from the year 2000 to 2019, just a few years ago, we've had 103 major conflicts. 103 major conflicts in a 20-year period. And here in the last few years, from 2020 to 2022, so really just 3-year period, we see 20 major conflicts continuing. Wars and rumors of wars, nations against nations, kingdoms against kingdoms. So why am I concentrating on this with you this week? Because we're in North America. I'm in London, Ontario, Canada. We don't have physical wars here. We don't have tanks rolling in the streets and anti-aircraft guns and so on going off. We don't have that happening in North America. It's been hundreds of years since that happened. So for the most part, since nothing is occurring in our backyard, we aren't paying attention to the intensity of conflict that's going on, not only around the world, but even here, in a fashion that I'm going to share with you tomorrow. I'll see you then. Thanks for joining us.